I did also say in the preview of the Autumn Nations series, I said this is going to be the All Blacks' hurdle. This is going to be their tough one. Do I back that? I'm going to back that up. Scott Robertson has made some minor changes to his All Black side to take on England at Twickenham this weekend. Scott Barrett comes in at lock. Wallace Atiti drops down to the bench with Simon Parker starting at 6. And then Lester Fine-Ganuku moves to the left wing in the place of injured Caleb Clark. And Billy Proctor comes in at centre with Anton Leno-Brown jumping on the bench. A strong squad, a very exciting squad, and they'll have to be strong and they'll have to be exciting, especially at the back end of the game when they come up against this English squad who've brought out their own version of the bomb squad, the POM squad. You've got the likes of Ellis Genge, Luke Cowan-Dickey, Tom Curry, Henry Pollock, Chandler Cunningham South, Marcus Smith on the bench. That back end of the game, that last 20 minutes, the tired legs, that's when it's going to be very important. And you can definitely see the sort of style or how Steve Borthwick wants to approach this game is be physical up front, take All Blacks on at their own game, obviously enforce England's game of how they want to play onto the All Blacks, but then have their joker, so to speak, up their sleeve in their 6 forwards to come on later in the game. Like I said, when there's tired legs, to still dominate the physical battle and keep the intensity in the set piece as well, or in the contact areas. That is also a high risk, high reward style of going about your bench, because if injuries do happen in the back line, yes, you've got someone like Marcus Smith who can cover a couple of positions, but 1 or 2 injuries go down and changes need to be made early on or earlier than expected, can throw a bit of a spanner in the works. But nonetheless, a fixture that they would play in heaven. All Blacks versus England at Twickenham, outstanding. Absolutely love it. As a neutral fan, very excited for this one. We're going to jump straight into both teams or get into a bit of a preview where I see the game, we won or lost, some of the match-ups. And as always, jump in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of both sides, or of the All Black side or of the English side. What changes would you, or do you like? What changes would you have liked to see for this game? How do you see this game playing out? What matchups are you looking forward to? Let me know in the comments. Give us your predictions as well. Let's hear it. All Blacks fans, English fans, let's hear it. Let's hear your hot takes for the big one this weekend. Let's just get straight into it. So All Blacks team, we've got Ethan de Groot, Cody Taylor and Fletcher Newell up front. Scott Barrett comes back in. He's partnering Fabian Holland at lock. He's captain again. That's a big in there. For a lot of All Blacks fans will say it's not a big in. Josh Lord has been playing fantastic rugby, but it's also just added a lot of depth to the All Blacks locking department, where last week or 2 weeks ago, they were stretched there because of all the injuries. Scott Barrett obviously being injured. Tupou Vaa'i was injured. Patrick Tuipulotu injured. Scott Barrett's now come back. But in his absence, Josh Lord has really stood up. Fabian Holland has really stood up as well. So it's just they've gone from having no locks to now having depth in that locking department. Back row, Simon Parker, Ardie Savia, Peter Lakai. So obviously Wallace Atiti dropped to the bench. Du Plessis-Kirifi dropped out of the matchday 23. Parker coming in will have to jump in and do the donkey work, which he's really good at. Loves to hit rucks, makes big carries, doesn't make a lot of carries, but when he does, he's very dominant with those carries, makes a lot of dominant tackles as well, and allows Ardie Savia to do his game. So Parker will do all the donkey work, loves to do that donkey work, doesn't really stand out in the game. Or when I say stand out, I mean highlights reels. And Parker's game allows Ardie Savia to do his bits where he comes in and makes those turnovers. Ardie Savia makes those tackles. He's got energy then to be a support player when there's a line break, and he's good at that. Peter Lakai has been outstanding the past few games and has really made that number 8 jersey his own. Then Cam Roigard, Beauden Barrett, they went with their 9 and 10 combo that they have had now for the past, or this whole year pretty much, is that Cam Roigard and Beauden Barrett. Then you've got the likes of Damien McKenzie to come on later. I'll get to that in a minute. Kuntupai and Billy Proctor in the centres. Have obviously shifted Fainganuku out to the wing. Caleb Clark failing at HIA, so leaves the spot open there for Fainganuku. I had Rico Ioane coming in, but Rico Ioane not even making the bench now after a few injuries, so he's definitely fell down that pecking order massively here. You've got Billy Proctor who's come in, gun centre, still hasn't really found his form at international level, but give him a bit of time, give him a bit of space, and good luck, man. He's a baller. Do like him there. Obviously, Quintupai giving you that front foot ball. And then the back three of Fainganuku, Leroy Carter, Will Jordan. Leroy Carter, after a yellow card last week and not much involvement, still keeps his spot. Love that Razor backed him a little bit there. Fainganuku, we know what he can do on the wing. And then Will Jordan, goes without saying, man. Bench, we've got Tokiaho, Tamani Williams, Tossi, Josh Lord, Wallace Atiti, Cortez Ratima, Anton Leonard-Brown, Damien McKenzie. Strong bench. Bench will have to bring on that punch later in the game. All Blacks have relied on it massively. In that Irish game, they won it late. The bench did. In Scotland game last week, Damien McKenzie come on and won it late for them. You come up against this English side at Twickenham, this English side with a very strong side that are going to be going for a full 80 minutes. You're going to have to back that up and go and take it to another level. For sure. Let's jump on this English squad quickly. So we've got Finn Baxter, Jamie George, Joe Hayes up front, then Morrow Toje and Alex Coles in lock, Guy Pepper, Sam Underhill, and Ben Earl, back row. That's a very, very strong back row. Then in the backs, we've got Alex Mitchell, George Ford, Fraser Dingwall, Ollie Lawrence in the centres, then back three of Emmanuel Faiwa-Bosso, Tom Roebuck, and Freddie Stewart. Strong side. What's more important for me and what's more exciting for me about this English side is the bench. They've gone for a 6-2 split. So Luke Cowan-Dickey, Ellis Genge, Will Stewart, Chandler Cunningham South, Tom Curry, Henry Pollock, Ben Spencer, and Marcus Smith. Obviously, Chandler Cunningham South probably covering lock in case of any injuries there. Henry Pollock, not really a lock cover. Tom Curry, also not really a lock cover. And then you look at the back row that they've got in Guy Pepper, Sam Underhill, Ben Earl, all very kind of at 185, 187, maybe 190 centimeters at a stretch. Not very much locking cover. So I think Chandler Cunningham South covers lock there. Very exciting squad this. And obviously with the 6-2 split on the bench, Steve Borthwick kind of showing his cards a little bit of how he wants to play. Be physical, have high intensity, and keep that throughout the game. And again, like I said at the top of this video, it is a very risk-reward type thing, because if you get a lot of backs injuries or too quick backline injuries, which we have seen in the past with teams that have gone for 6-2 split benches, it can throw a bit of a spanner in the works. Now, matchups. I'm going to go with the back row first. So we've got with England, we've got Guy Pepper, Sam Underhill, Ben Earl. Then for the All Blacks, we've got Simon Parker, Ardie Savea, and Peter Lakai. England's back row here, very much fetchers, very much guys on the ball that will look to disrupt the opposition's ball, will look to look after their own ball, so secure their own ball, but then disrupt the opposition's ball. Then on the bench, you've got Tom Curry, Henry Pollock, those guys that can come on as well. Man, scary scenes. But looking over to the All Blacks, you've got Simon Parker, Ardie Savea, Peter Lakai. So Ardie Savea, Peter Lakai, very on the ball, can obviously secure your own ball, but disrupt the opposition's ball massively. Ardie Savea, one of the best in the business at it. Simon Parker gets involved and stuck in there. So I'm looking forward to that battle, breakdown battle, but then also physical battle. Who's leading the charge physically in the back rows? Your 10, that is always a good matchup. So George Ford versus Beauden Barrett, the two experienced players, the two vets going at it. George Ford, obviously your very particular 10, very kicks well, very straight up and down, technique-based, has a good pass on him. He's not really going to attack the line, but will take the ball to the line. He's not necessarily going to dummy and go himself. He'll more look to pass the ball, where Beauden Barrett loves to run with the ball, has got his kicking, slowly getting his kicking under control, but is more a runner with the ball and a passer and looking to connect with the players outside him, where George Ford is very dominant in how he plays. He kicks well, he's strategic, he's a thinker of the game. Love to see that battle there. Then wingers, the right wing for All Blacks and the left wing for England. So you got Leroy Carter up against Emmanuel Faiwa-Boso, both electric. I think Faiwa-Boso might be a bit more electric than Leroy Carter, but that battle is going to be something else. Two very fast players, can finish from anywhere, and physical, just dominant, like in contact, very dominant, dynamic, fast twitch, like agility, all of that stuff. So love to see that battle, those two go head to head there. Where I see the game won or lost quickly, set piece always is your lineouts and scrums. Last year when England visited the All Blacks in their mid-year series, Maro Toje dominated lineout time. Different ball game with Fabian Holland in, Scott Barrett back in. So lineouts will be very, very important. And then scrums as well. Set piece, like I said, your scrum, super, super important. Both set pieces, lineouts and scrums are a strong attacking platform, more so your lineouts, because you've got such a big amount of space between defense, or from attack to defense. There's 20 meters to play with. So set piece is going to be very important, who wins that battle. And then an 80-minute performance. England have obviously gone with a 6-2 split here, where they will look to keep the intensity throughout the game, imagine they bring on that 6 all at once. You have seen teams do it in the past, but they obviously are going for physical up front, want to try and beat you up front, want to match your physicality, and then take it to a new level when you bring on a fresh 6 forwards later in the game. And that's something that the All Blacks have been lacking the past couple of games, the past couple of seasons, is playing a full 80 minutes. They dip in and out of games. They go through slumps where they'll maybe lose a player, or just have a lot of calls go against them, not because of the ref, but because of their discipline, and then leak a lot of points and then have to claw their way back. Or they get out to a lead, play really well for the first half, and then in the second half, they allow teams to come back in it. This is something you don't want to happen with this English squad. You want to, against them, you want to play the full 80 minutes, and you want to stay in the game for the full 80 minutes. So 80-minute performance, very important for both teams here, and where I will see the game being won or lost. You can't dip in and out of the game. You've got to stay in it for the full 80. This is going to be a cracking game. I can't wait for it. Like I said, it is a fixture that gets played in rugby heaven. England versus All Blacks at Twickenham. Absolutely love it. I'm going to go All Blacks to edge it. I did also say in the preview of the Autumn Nations series, I said this is going to be the All Blacks' hurdle. This is going to be their tough one. Do I back that? I'm going to back that up. I'm going to go England. I'm going to go England in a crazy, just a wild game. I'm going to go England by 3 points. All Blacks fans, it's just something, it's just a feel. I just got a feeling. England by 3 points. What do you guys think? What are your predictions? Who's going to score the first try? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next time.